Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital Today channel. Willow Tate's life has always been marked by turbulence, but as she stares down the possibility of Pentonville looming in the near future, the stakes have never felt higher. She knows she must go, but the question is, who will accompany her, and under what circumstances? Michael Corinthos, the man who has always been a steadfast presence in her life, looms large in this scenario, not as an adversary, but as someone whose motives are far more complicated than they appear on the surface. For months, fans have suspected that Michael's connection to Scout, his daughter, has been leveraged in ways that go beyond mere parenting duties. Now it seems that Scout herself has been turned into an unwitting pawn in Michael's strategic chess game, her innocence manipulated to gain leverage over Willow in ways that are both subtle and devastating. Willow has long suspected Michael's overprotectiveness, but could it be that Michael has allowed himself to become a manipulative force in her life without even fully acknowledging the consequences? The idea that Scout is being used as a tool to pressure Willow is a heartbreaking revelation, especially for someone who has always wanted to shield the child from the adult conflicts swirling around them. Willow's connection to Scout is tender yet complicated, and the realization that Michael might be exploiting that bond for strategic advantage cuts deeply, leaving Willow in an emotional bind that is almost impossible to navigate. At the same time, Willow's personal life is teetering on the edge of chaos, largely due to her fraught relationship with Drew Kane. The saga of Willow and Drew's wedding fiasco is fresh in the minds of General Hospital fans, a storyline that unfolded with the sort of gut-wrenching drama that GH thrives on. Willow had called off the wedding in a dramatic twist, discovering Drew's passionate entanglements with Nina Reeves and feeling betrayed in the most intimate, shattering way possible. That betrayal tore at Willow's heart and left Drew stunned and humiliated in equal measure. Yet in the aftermath of heartbreak, human resilience often finds a way to push through the pain, and Drew has proven that he is not the sort to give up easily, especially when it comes to the woman he loves. His belief in Willow's innocence is both a balm and a potential hazard. He wants to fight for her, to stand by her side, and to help her navigate the treacherous waters of criminal accusation, yet his unwavering faith carries with it the risk of blind devotion. In the week of November 24th to 28th, GH fans are being teased with the promise of a new chapter, one in which Drew makes a heartfelt proposal that could reignite the spark of love, passion, and commitment that was briefly extinguished at their first disastrous wedding. But the question remains, can love survive when the shadows of legal peril, personal betrayal, and deeply held secrets continue to cast long, threatening silhouettes over the couple's path? Willow's current predicament is particularly thorny because she is simultaneously fighting not just external accusations but the internal turmoil of her own conscience. The shooting she is accused of has left a trail of suspicion, finger-pointing, and emotional wreckage that she cannot simply walk away from, no matter how much she wants to. Drew's steadfast belief in her innocence gives Willow a lifeline, a chance to anchor herself amid the swirling storm, yet the very presence of that lifeline is double-edged. The closer she clings to Drew, the more entwined she becomes in the dynamics that could either save her or drag her down further. It is precisely this tension that makes the upcoming wedding so fraught with potential disaster. This is not a simple romantic reconnection, this is a high-stakes gambit in which emotions, strategy, and raw survival instincts collide. Willow may want to accept Drew's proposal, but even if she does, there are no guarantees. The possibility exists that Drew, for all his professed trust and affection, might experience a flash of doubt, a sudden recollection or new evidence that shakes the foundation of his belief in her. GH writers have never shied away from exploring the fragility of trust, and this situation offers fertile ground for yet another dramatic upheaval. The second wedding attempt is charged with tension from the outset. Drew, fully aware of the chaos and betrayal of their first nuptials, may feel an urgent need to push forward quickly, hoping that moving swiftly will lock them in as united partners, ready to face whatever legal or personal battles loom ahead. But the pressure of timing, combined with the unresolved emotional trauma from the previous failed ceremony, can easily turn the wedding into a tinderbox. Willow, who has been struggling to navigate the treacherous waters of legal accusation and emotional vulnerability, may find herself unprepared for the psychological strain of a rushed wedding. The mere act of walking down the aisle, knowing that her freedom, or at least her dignity, hangs in the balance, is fraught with peril. Meanwhile, Drew's internal landscape is no less complex. He may want to believe in Willow, to uphold the image of steadfast loyalty, yet the human mind is notoriously susceptible to doubt. A fleeting memory from their first wedding disaster could emerge, twisted by stress and fear, leaving Drew vulnerable to believing the worst of Willow. This inner turmoil could turn the altar from a place of union into a stage for public humiliation, a scenario that GH fans have seen executed with devastating effect in past storylines. Adding to this volatile mix is the role of Michael Corinthos and his subtle influence over Scout. If Willow's fate is being manipulated through the child, the stakes become exponentially higher. The innocence of Scout, entwined with the adult conflicts surrounding her, adds a psychological layer of tension that is both sophisticated and heartbreaking. Willow must navigate not only her legal jeopardy and romantic entanglements but also the ethical minefield of protecting a child who may unknowingly be complicit in a larger power struggle. Michael's possible use of Scout as leverage could create a situation where Willow feels trapped on multiple fronts, unable to act freely without risking collateral damage to someone she deeply cares about. The intersection of these storylines, the courtroom drama, the romantic reconciliation, the familial manipulation, creates an emotional landscape so intricate that any misstep could result in disaster, a reality that GH writers will undoubtedly exploit to its fullest dramatic potential. As the second wedding looms, viewers are left to speculate, will Willow accept Drew's renewed proposal, hoping that this time the outcome will be different? Or will fate intervene, reminding them that true reconciliation is never simple or straightforward? Even if Willow does say yes, the path to the altar is fraught with potential pitfalls. New evidence against her could surface at any moment, Drew's doubts could flare into outright confrontation, or Michael's maneuvers through Scout could trigger a cascade of events that none of them could foresee. The tension of this scenario lies not only in the uncertainty of legal outcomes or romantic fidelity but in the intricate web of human emotion, trust, and betrayal that binds these characters together. One can imagine the wedding scene itself unfolding as a perfect storm of drama. Willow, radiant yet anxious, walks down the aisle with the weight of accusation and manipulation pressing on her shoulders. Drew, equally conflicted, struggles to reconcile his deep-seated love with the creeping suspicion that perhaps all is not as it seems. The guests, oblivious to the undercurrents of suspicion and strategy, witness what appears to be a joyful reunion, yet the tension is palpable. And then, in true GH fashion, the potential for disaster strikes, a memory, a revelation, or a sudden piece of evidence could erupt into the open, transforming the moment of union into a moment of judgment. Drew might stop mid-vows, not out of malice, but out of a desperate need to reconcile what he believes to be true with what he wants to believe. Willow's shock, humiliation, and heartbreak in that moment could be profound, a dramatic twist that leaves fans both horrified and riveted. Throughout all of this, the psychological dimensions of each character continue to add layers of complexity. Willow is navigating guilt, fear, and hope, torn between the desire to reclaim a normal life with Drew and the harsh reality of potential imprisonment. Drew, for his part, is grappling with the tension between unwavering loyalty and the very real possibility that he has misjudged the situation. Michael, meanwhile, operates in the gray areas of morality, using his influence over Scout in ways that challenge traditional notions of right and wrong, forcing Willow to confront the unintended consequences of adult decisions on a child's life. And Scout, innocently caught in the crossfire, represents both vulnerability and leverage, a living symbol of how easily innocence can be weaponized in the hands of those with complex motives. Ultimately, the unfolding drama of Willow and Drew's next wedding disaster is emblematic of the best of General Hospital storytelling: high stakes, emotionally charged conflicts, moral ambiguity, and a relentless tension that keeps viewers on the edge of their seats. Every decision, every glance, every whispered secret carries the weight of potential catastrophe, making it impossible to predict how the story will unfold. Whether Willow ultimately faces Pentonville with Michael at her side, whether Scout continues to be a pawn in Michael's strategic plays, or whether Drew and Willow finally achieve a fragile, hard-won reconciliation, one thing is certain: the journey will be fraught with peril, heartbreak, and, if history is any guide, moments of breathtaking drama that will leave GH fans talking for weeks, perhaps months, to come. In the end, the intertwining fates of Willow, Drew, Michael, and Scout serve as a testament to the enduring power of soap opera storytelling, where love, betrayal, and the pursuit of justice collide in ways that are as unpredictable as they are compelling, leaving viewers captivated and emotionally invested in every twist, turn, and heartbreaking revelation. Willow's thoughts are a whirlwind of fear, love, and anxiety as the second wedding day approaches. The mere idea of walking down the aisle again, especially after the chaos of the first ceremony, fills her with both hope and dread. Hope, because Drew's renewed proposal signals a chance for redemption, a second chance at a love that has been tested by betrayal, secrets, and tragedy. Dread, because she knows that Pentonville is looming like a dark cloud over her future, a reminder that the law may not be swayed by her feelings, nor by the vows she is about to recite. Every step she takes toward the altar feels weighted, as though the ground itself is pressing down on her with the knowledge that any misstep could undo everything she has fought for. Fans know that Willow is a character who thrives on resilience, yet even the strongest hearts falter under the crushing pressure of suspicion and the fear of losing everything. Drew, meanwhile, is experiencing his own private torment. His love for Willow is unwavering, yet he cannot ignore the nagging seeds of doubt that have been planted in his mind, remnants of past betrayals and the gnawing questions of whether he truly knows Willow at all. He remembers the first wedding, the sudden heartbreak, the humiliation, the unresolved emotions that left both him and Willow raw and exposed. That memory now acts as both a warning and a guide, a signal that the path to happiness is fraught with obstacles that neither of them can fully anticipate. Drew wants to protect Willow from the storm, but he also understands the importance of honesty and confrontation. What if evidence surfaces that shakes his faith to the core? What if Willow herself is hiding more than he realizes, not out of malice but simply out of fear of the consequences? These questions haunt him as he prepares for the second attempt at marriage, knowing that the stakes have never been higher, and that one misstep could shatter everything he holds dear. The tension is further heightened by Michael Corinthos' subtle, yet undeniable, influence. Michael has always been a protector, but when it comes to Scout, his instincts have taken on a strategic edge. Fans have speculated for months that Michael's connection to Willow is more complex than simple concern or friendship. Now it appears that Scout has become a pivotal element in this unfolding drama. Willow cannot ignore the possibility that the child she cares so deeply about is being used as a bargaining chip, a tool in a game she does not fully understand. The realization is devastating. Michael, perhaps without even realizing it, is leveraging Scout's innocence to exert pressure on Willow, forcing her into a corner where every choice carries both personal and moral consequences. The mere thought of Scout being caught in the middle of adult conflicts leaves Willow emotionally vulnerable, amplifying the anxiety and fear she already feels about the looming courtroom battle and the potential collapse of her relationship with Drew. As the wedding day draws near, the tension between Drew and Willow reaches an almost unbearable pitch. Drew's love is palpable, a force strong enough to anchor Willow amid the storm, yet the shadow of doubt continually threatens to destabilize their fragile union. He wants to believe in her innocence with all his heart, but storytelling has a way of turning even the strongest faith into fragile, conditional hope. Willow, for her part, is desperate for reassurance yet terrified of pushing too hard, for fear that her own actions, or perceived missteps, might trigger Drew's worst fears. Every glance exchanged, every whispered word, every hesitation is loaded with significance. The chemistry between them is undeniable, electric, yet overshadowed by the specter of suspicion and the looming threat of legal retribution. The emotional complexity of this scenario is what makes fans obsessively invested. It is a high-stakes psychological drama wrapped in the guise of a romance, with the added intensity of potential legal consequences and family manipulation. Scout's role as a pawn adds a layer of psychological warfare that neither Willow nor Drew can easily navigate. The child's innocence makes her influence subtle yet powerful, a constant reminder of the moral and emotional stakes at play. Michael's possible manipulation of Scout creates a scenario in which Willow's every move is scrutinized, her motivations questioned, and her decisions weighed against not just the law but the emotional well-being of a child who depends on her. For Willow, the challenge is almost insurmountable. How can she fight for her freedom, her love, and her dignity while simultaneously protecting someone who has become a tool in a game she never asked to play? The tension created by this dynamic is both poignant and harrowing, illustrating GH's mastery at intertwining personal, legal, and familial conflict in a way that keeps viewers on edge. The second wedding, therefore, is less a celebration and more a psychological minefield. Every step toward the altar is laden with the potential for disaster, every smile masking a storm of anxiety. Willow knows that she must maintain composure, yet her inner thoughts are a torrent of fear and self-doubt. What if Drew suddenly remembers something that makes him question her innocence? What if new evidence comes to light that shakes the very foundation of trust they are trying to rebuild? The possibilities are endless, each more devastating than the last. GH thrives on these high-stakes scenarios, where love is tested against betrayal, trust against doubt, and hope against despair. Fans will no doubt be on the edge of their seats as they watch Willow navigate the emotional labyrinth that lies ahead. Drew's perspective is equally fraught with tension. He wants to believe in Willow, to trust in the love they share, but the human mind is vulnerable to fear, suspicion, and the weight of past experiences. Memories of the first wedding disaster haunt him, leaving him acutely aware of how fragile trust can be. He struggles with the dual impulses of love and caution, wanting to protect Willow while also ensuring that he is not blinded by emotion. The risk is high. One misstep, one sudden recollection, one new piece of evidence could transform his hope into doubt, and his doubt into confrontation. The emotional stakes are immense, and GH fans know that the fallout from such a scenario could be catastrophic, leaving both characters exposed, vulnerable, and heartbroken. Michael's involvement further complicates matters, introducing a layer of strategic tension that is both subtle and powerful. By leveraging Scout's innocence, Michael creates a scenario in which Willow's decisions are constrained by moral and emotional considerations she cannot fully control. The result is a high-stakes chess game, with each character maneuvering carefully, aware that one wrong move could have devastating consequences. Willow's awareness of this manipulation adds to her anxiety, forcing her to consider the welfare of Scout even as she navigates her own legal and emotional challenges. The intertwining of these personal and strategic dynamics creates a rich tapestry of tension, intrigue, and emotional complexity that is a hallmark of GH storytelling. As the wedding ceremony unfolds, the potential for disaster is omnipresent. Willow, radiant and anxious, walks down the aisle, her heart racing with the knowledge that any moment could change everything. Drew, equally conflicted, stands at the altar, ready to embrace love yet bracing for the possibility of betrayal. The guests, unaware of the undercurrents of suspicion and manipulation, watch in awe and anticipation, oblivious to the psychological tension that pervades the room. And then, in true GH fashion, the unexpected occurs, a memory resurfaces, a revelation comes to light, or new evidence emerges, transforming what should have been a moment of joy into one of heartbreak and confrontation. Drew might stop mid-vows, unable to reconcile his desire to trust with the gnawing suspicion that all is not as it seems. Willow, caught off guard, experiences a wave of shock, humiliation, and despair, the emotional impact amplified by the public nature of the event. Throughout this, the psychological interplay between the characters remains intense. Willow must balance fear, hope, and resilience, navigating the treacherous waters of accusation and manipulation while striving to maintain her dignity and agency. Drew must contend with the tension between love and doubt, trust and suspicion, seeking to protect both his heart and Willow's while remaining attuned to the moral and emotional implications of their circumstances. Michael, operating in the gray areas of morality, introduces ethical complexity, leveraging his influence over Scout in ways that challenge conventional notions of right and wrong. Scout herself, caught in the middle, represents both innocence and vulnerability, a poignant reminder of the collateral damage that adult conflicts can inflict on those who are least able to navigate them. The emotional stakes are heightened by the possibility that Willow's legal situation could intersect with her romantic and familial challenges in unexpected ways. Courtroom developments, new evidence, or strategic maneuvers by Michael could all converge on the wedding day, creating a scenario in which personal, legal, and familial drama collide. The result is a high-stakes narrative that is both emotionally compelling and narratively complex, with every decision, glance, and word carrying profound significance. Willow's journey is emblematic of the human struggle to navigate love, trust, and morality in the face of adversity, while Drew's journey reflects the challenges of reconciling desire with caution, loyalty with skepticism, and love with the possibility of betrayal. Ultimately, The Next Wedding Disaster is not just a plot device, it is a microcosm of the larger thematic currents that drive General Hospital storytelling. Love, betrayal, trust, suspicion, manipulation, and resilience intertwine in a narrative that is as emotionally resonant as it is suspenseful. Willow's struggle to maintain agency in the face of legal jeopardy and emotional manipulation, Drew's effort to balance love with caution, Michael's